Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I am a full-time freelancer. I focus primarily on social media marketing, video marketing, and editing. And today I'm going to show you how to create a social media management portfolio. This is a question I got all the time. I've mentioned portfolios in some of my, tips and tricks for social media manager videos. And I've gotten a lot of questions on what does a portfolio look like? Because traditionally, when you say the word portfolio, you think of graphic design where you can, actually show some images that you've made, or tattooers, they have a portfolio of their work, or traditional artists, things like that. And obviously social media management is a little bit different. We're not necessarily creating graphics and things like that. So I'm going to share exactly how I do that. Just to clarify, by a portfolio, I just mean a representation of your work. This can look a lot of different ways. I have a portfolio page on my business website that basically just runs down some quick screenshots of work that I've done, or photos that I've taken if I did take photos for clients, and just a bullet point list of what kind of work I did for that client. So that is kind of a condensed version of a portfolio, I guess you could say. And then that's all that I have public facing. I also have my Upwork profile, which is a similar thing. You just list out some key projects that you worked on, link to it if you can. Obviously, for social media management, it's not always going to be visible. It's not always a campaign that's still live or that's still running. So you might not be able to do that. So what you can do, and number one, I would look in your contract and see what your contract says, but you may be able to take a screenshot of the campaign or, the posts that you created. So I have in all of my contracts that I can use work in my portfolio that is a line item in the contract. So I definitely look at some legal resources. I am not a legal resource. Talk to a lawyer, or I use a template from &Co. That's kind of how my first freelance contract that I started using. So that does allow for you to kind of specify whether or not you're able to use that work in your portfolio or not. So I always tick that box. So I can take a screenshot of an ad that I create, or an Instagram feed or something like that I've improved, and do, just screenshots of that work. Now, what I also do in addition to just that page is I also create two documents. So I have a portfolio document is what I call it, or a pitch document. And then I also just have case studies. So let's talk about the portfolio deck first. So what I include in this is a little bit of background about me and my company, who's going to be working on the contract, if I'm going to be collaborating with somebody else, who's going to be the photographer, who's going to be the admin, who are they going to be communicating with. And then I share a couple of quick mini case studies. So I pretty much do a slide introducing the contract. So here's the client that I worked for, here's what I did. So maybe I did social media management, logo design, and Squarespace development, or something like that. I would write down all of those things. And then on the next page, I would do a couple of screenshots, some examples of that work, and a testimonial if I have one. And I just do that for a few different clients that are relevant to that industry, because let's say that I'm applying for a social media management gig for a skincare company. They probably don't care about the work that I did for a corporate lawyer or something like that. They want to see other examples of content that I've created that's similar to their niche. So I pick and choose that. And then I think on the end page, I just have a call to action. Hey, if you want to get started, here's how to contact us. That's pretty much it. Maybe a couple more testimonials sprinkled in there. So that portfolio deck is what I typically send when somebody says, hey, I'd love more information about your services, or do you have some examples of your work? That's typically what I'll send them, is just, hey, take a look. If that looks like kind of something you're looking for, we can take the conversation further. I can send you more examples, whatever you need. So then I have detailed case study documents, or more detailed case study documents. They're really easy. I just create mine in Canva. It's not very fancy at all, but I follow a simple formula, and that is problem, solution, results. So I go ahead, I start out the case study document with, again, a little bit of an introduction, less about me and my company and more about the client or what I was hired for. So let's use my podcast as an example. We'll pretend for this. I'll say I was hired to launch and develop a podcast for freelancers. Here were the goals. We wanted to, launch 30 episodes within the first year. We wanted to have this many downloads. We wanted to get this many sponsors, like whatever the goals were for your project, right? List those things out. And then also talk about your role specifically, because like some projects that I worked on maybe in a past job. Some were me just being a freelancer. Some were my company and I was working on a team with other freelancers or other people. So I like to kind of outline what I did, especially if I led a team. I always think that's important to kind of call out. So that's kind of the problem in the introduction. Then you'll go into the solution. So what solution did you implement? If the goal was to, like I said, launch 30 podcast episodes or whatever, I would say that I developed a content schedule for my client, Latasha, me. I developed a production schedule, and I researched topics, and I did this and did that. I guess I'm talking about podcasting. That's not really social media management, but you guys can get the deal here. And I batch created graphics, and I ran Facebook ads, and whatever the heck you did. And then the last section would be results. So I would say we met our goal. We met this many downloads, we got this many subscribers, we did whatever. And again, as much as you can really showcase data, meaning numbers and screenshots and examples, the better. So obviously, some of us, depending on our clients' tracking and websites and things like that, they might not be able to track all the way through to revenue. Hopefully they can. That's like the best case scenario. But if they can't, at least show, hey, we got this many clicks. We grew the following by this much. And, be picky with your data too. Like, don't lie about it. Obviously, definitely do not do that. But you don't need to include every single metric if every single metric wasn't good, right? The goal of a case study or of a portfolio or example is to showcase the best of your work. So if you grew their engagement and you grew their clicks, or their revenue, hopefully if you can track through to that, if you grew that by like a lot, that's amazing, even if you didn't grow their following by thousands and thousands. At the end of the day, we know, hopefully as social media professionals, sometimes you can make more money without getting a ton more followers. So either way, that's still a win, but you don't need to showcase like something that might look a little bit bad, if you will. Like I said, obviously don't lie about that, but just showcase the best data that you have, the most compelling data that you have. Okay, I just realized my hair was like this the whole time. But yeah, so do that. And then end it off just by screenshots, graphics. That stuff is all really great. So if you have any like graphs or charts or can create any, those are always really compelling. I swear if I throw a graphic up, like I instantly will sell something. Like people love it when I share graphics. I shared a graphic of my course sales when I don't even know what I was promoting. I think I was just talking about my coaching program or something and saying how rewriting my landing page helped me sell more courses. And I showed this graphic of the, huge uptick in course sales that I had, and people loved it. So anything like that you have access to, go ahead and share that. Now, I do want to address one last thing also is I get questions all the time about, okay, well, what if I am not allowed to share the client or I'm not sure if I can or whatever. So number one, like I said, go back to that contract, make sure that you are for future contracts if you can. Now, I have worked though with companies that are a little bit more private and sensitive. Maybe they have like their product hasn't launched yet or something like that. So they want to be a little bit more under the radar, I guess. So anonymize the data. That's one thing that you could consider doing. So again, if I said I worked with a skincare company on their social media strategy, maybe I'm not going to say it was XYZ skincare company. I'll just say skincare company. Here's some general data. Again, you don't want to be super specific either, because if it is private data, you don't want them to like be able to find it. So keep things general. Just say I grew their following by 500%. I created this many pieces of content for them. I helped them launch this product, did this, did that. And don't be super specific. Don't say I helped them launch their green tea maca face powder, like whatever, maca face powder. What is that? Anyway, you don't want to be super specific so that they can find exactly what it is, right? If the point is to be anonymous, but you could do that. You could say skincare company, restaurant, store. Like these are pretty random that I don't think, maybe talk it over with a lawyer just to be sure. But in my opinion, that would be what I would do. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. I have a general our work kind of page on my website, which is very general. It just kind of gives people an idea of what I've done in the past, what I'm able to do, a little bit of an example of maybe my photography and videography style, things like that. And then I also have a portfolio deck that I'll send out if people are just kind of inquiring about my brand or about my business. And then I have case studies that I can send out individual. And I guess I didn't really talk about what the case study is sent out for, but really if somebody wants to take a deeper dive, they say, okay, cool, I see you have worked in the software as a service industry. Do you have any case studies of work that you've done for that? I've seen you've worked with apps and startups. I've seen you've worked with skincare companies. And then I'll send one case study specific to that industry just to really give them a better idea of who I am. So I hope that was helpful. And yeah, like I said, I use Canva to create really all of this stuff. It's pretty easy. I don't go off of a specific template. I just kind of freestyle it and create something that looks good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope this helped you guys out. Let me know in the comments. If it did, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. And of course, leave me a thumbs up if you would like to let me know that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.